up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today we're gonna actually be talking about someone which really kind of feels a little weird to me and like kind of slimy. I don't know why. I'm not here trying to cause drama or anything like that, but I've had a lot of people message me and I've been tagged in a lot of posts, and I talked to the person that we're going to be talking about today in the video, and I felt like I had some insight that I could, you know, give to him, Danny, that's watching this video probably, I'm assuming, and hopefully to you guys that are watching as well. So we're going to be talking about my friend Danny, or Danny Gets Fit, here on YouTube and on Instagram. If you're not familiar, I'm sure most of you guys are, but he is someone that makes weight loss videos here on YouTube. He has also lost 150 pounds, so he has, you know, he makes very similar videos to what I make, talks about the same topics. He shares the kind of the space that I share, and that's why I feel like this video is something, you know, this is a person that I felt like making a video kind of made sense about, because there is so much overlap between us. So where like the controversy comes in, if you even want to call it that, is, like I said, Danny lost 150 pounds, but he personally is still kind of struggling with eating and struggling with his relationship with food. So he recently put on a sizable amount of weight. It's all stuff that he's admitted, and he's been getting attacked and a lot of hate for putting on, you know, excess weight. And a lot of people in his community, in our community, have been kind of like flaming him and just giving him a lot of hate because of the weight that he's gained. And a lot of people have honestly started to use me as a way to make him feel bad, and that's definitely something I never want to happen. I'm not here to try and make other people feel bad for not, you know, being as far along in their journey as I might be. Like when I get tagged in pictures of his, like, oh, Obesetobeast, you should help Danny out. Obesetobeast, you need to give Danny tips. And that is not something I ever, like, I never want people to feel shamed because they've gained some weight back. The first thing I want to say is that, one, losing weight is very hard. Two, keeping weight off is also very hard. And three, trying to keep weight off while still having a messed up relationship with food is nearly impossible. And that's the struggle that Danny is facing. If you've been watching his channel recently, he's talked a little bit about, finally, honestly, this is something that I was hoping that he would have brought out sooner, because it's something that I felt like he struggled with. So he's been talking about his struggles with binge eating. And now I've personally, through hanging out with him, have witnessed these urges that he would get and just the bad relationship with food that he had. And it made me kind of uncomfortable, because I remember when I was at that point with food, and I could just see it, you know, I could see the way that he would act around food, the way that food really did kind of control him. And I knew, I could see myself in him, right? But at the same time, I'm not his dad. I'm his friend. So I'm not gonna sit here and try and like sit him down and say, you need to change. This is something you need to fix. Like, no, I'm gonna, you know, we had some conversations, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, you have a binge eating problem, we need to fix it. Like, that's not my job as a friend, right? So if we fast forward to where we are now, recently Danny actually competed in a physique show, kind of similar to what I did a few years ago. And I personally believe that probably wasn't the smartest choice. And I think Danny would agree, knowing what he knows now. But at the time, he was so focused on that show. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and say you shouldn't do the show, you need to refocus on things. Like, he was really excited, so obviously I supported him and I wanted him to do well. But for a lot of people, I personally think that if you are trying to lose a significant amount of weight, if your goal is to compete on a bodybuilding stage, I honestly, most people, if I'm talking to them like one-on-one, I usually advise against that. Mainly because if you are morbidly obese, you probably have a pretty unhealthy relationship with food. And I personally believe that trying to get a healthy relationship with food is the hardest part about losing weight and the hardest part about keeping weight off. Your relationship with food is something that takes, I personally believe, especially if you struggle with binge eating, something that takes years to fix. And going from one extreme to eating, you know, eating whatever you want, to another extreme of really restricting yourself and you know, competing on stage, getting really, really lean, a lot of times that really messes a lot of people up. And I'm speaking from experience. I was honestly, like, I was really, really nervous when I competed of what was gonna happen afterwards. Like, I knew that I had the strength and the willpower to, you know, diet down and get as lean as I did on stage. I wasn't even super crazy lean, but, you know, get as lean as I could. But I remember, like, the weeks going up to the show, even on show day and a few days afterwards, like, I was just so nervous around food, and I was nervous because I didn't want to, you know, overeat too much and then gain a bunch of weight. Because you see it a lot, you know, you see what happened with Danny, and that's not something that I wanted to do. And it's obviously, it's not something that I don't want Danny to be where he's at right now, and I know that he doesn't want to be where he's at right now as well, and so I know he's really struggling with it. And I think the hardest part for him is that he's put himself out there, right? Like, he has a YouTube channel, he's making content, he's helping other people lose weight, but he's still struggling with it himself. And that makes it really, really hard, because when you're in the public eye, you're going to get a lot more criticism than if you were just, you know, hanging out with your friends and you were gaining weight, losing weight, struggling with your weight. Most people that really care for you and are around you are not gonna make fun of you and say terrible things, but this is the internet, and Danny deals with so much hate. And I hate to see it, I really do, because I was actually talking to him recently. He's like, he told me, you know, he's like, it's crazy because I get called fat more now than I ever did when I was at my heaviest. And I can completely relate to that, because even if I gain like 5 pounds, or like my face is looking a little round, say I like just woke up in the morning and I look just a little, you know how we are, you know, get bloated in the face. Like, I'll deal with comments of people saying like, you're gaining weight, you're gonna get fat again. So it really is a crazy space that me and Danny kind of operate in, because obviously I'm here to make videos to help people lose weight. He's doing the same thing. So then when your weight starts to become, you know, kind of come in question, people start to really question you as a person, and then they start to attack you. And it's crazy, because this space that I'm in, you know, my community, I feel like you guys are really, really, really supportive. Some of the most supportive people in the world. But I've seen, not saying most of you guys are not like this, but I've seen people just turn on a dime so quick when someone starts to gain weight, and they just straight up attack them. And I think that it really is a kind of a scary thing, and not something that I really ever want to deal with very much. And then when it comes to people that are commenting that I need to help Danny, or I should help Danny, personally, I believe that there's really nothing that I can do to really help him, because he, like, honestly, he knows about the science behind weight loss and how weight loss works. He knows all the information, and like, I will be the first one to say that he probably knows more about the science side of weight loss than I do. He really loves reading all of that stuff, so he's super interested in that stuff. He knows all about that stuff. But then again, like, just because you know things doesn't mean you make the best decisions. And obviously when you're struggling with binge eating, like, it doesn't matter how much you know, you just don't care anymore. And that's kind of, I think, what he's going through. And now I'm really happy that he has come out with, you know, his binge eating struggles and been very honest. And I really believe, especially when you're, you know, one of these people that are making videos and putting yourself out there, being honest and being transparent with your struggles is one of the strongest tools we have in our toolbox, because then we can help ourselves, but then we can actually help other people along the way. And that's exactly what he's doing. So I personally feel like Danny is on the right track right now to get the weight off, hopefully in a smart way. Obviously, I'm always here. Danny, I know you're watching this. I'm always here for you if you ever have any questions, but I really feel like he is on the right track to hopefully lose weight, and not in a crazy, drastic, super fast way, you know, a way that's sustainable, in a way that he can keep the weight off, and it's not this bulk and cut cycle that he seems to be, you know, kind of trapped in right now. And then when it comes to the people that are just leaving like a ton of hate and a ton of really negative comments on his stuff, I think there's like a couple different groups of people. One of the groups of people I feel like is probably people that are still struggling with their weight, and they're pushing kind of their frustrations and insecurities onto him. And the second group of people I think are people that believe they're trying to help but are just missing the mark pretty badly. And these are the people that are kind of like fat shaming. They think in their head, if they're really mean and they leave really nasty things, that'll motivate him to change. Now, I think that there's some people that works with. I think it's a small minority of people, but I have seen that work for some people. But I think for the majority of people, fat shaming and being very, very negative usually has the opposite effect. So I think that's kind of the second group of people. And then personally for me, this is just my opinion, but I mean, I love Danny. I want to see him succeed, and I know that he wants to succeed as well. So I'm personally just frustrated for him, and I think with him, because I know that he doesn't like where he's at. I know that he's not proud of where he's at. I know that he knows how to get out of there. I just want him to get there, right? I just want him to succeed. I want him to find that healthy relationship with food. I want him to find that balance, because that's something that you can sustain, right, over a long period of time. You cannot sustain drastic cuts. You cannot sustain drastic bulking periods. You need to find something that you feel like you can do. It might not be the perfect diet in the world, but it's something that you can stick to for a very, very long period of time that isn't super hard, isn't super drastic. It's not a grind. It's just your life. And I want him to find that. and I really hope that he does. And I mean, I really feel like he's on the right track, but again, I'm not, like, I can't read the future. I don't know where he's gonna be, but I personally would really love to see him succeed. This is not a competition. I am not trying to compare my transformation to Danny's to Bob's over in Virginia. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about improving the quality of our life. For a lot of us at the start, me and Danny included, it's about extending your life, right? Because I really believed I was going to die before I was 40 years old. Like, that's what this is about. So yeah, there's gonna be bumps in the road. There's gonna be times, and for Danny right now, it's like a mountain, right? And that's really sucky. And I really hate that he has to deal with that mountain. But I do believe once he climbs that mountain, gets to the summit, and deals with this demon, he will be so much stronger for that. And he will have so much more knowledge for that, and so much more experience for dealing with this mountain that he's kind of put in front of himself. But it's nothing that you can't conquer, right? It's nothing that you can't get over. But again, those are just my thoughts. I am not the end all be all to, especially to Danny's life. He can live his own life. But I felt like it was a good opportunity to talk about not just Danny, but the struggles that come along with dealing with binge eating and dealing with, relationship with food problems. Now, before the end of the video, I want to let you guys know I'm going to link Danny's channel down in the description down below. I would love for you guys to go support him. I really hope that a bunch of people go from this video and go send him a bunch of hate. He doesn't need that. I would love for you guys to support him. I know he's starting a new series kind of documenting this weight loss journey that he's on right now, which I think could be really cool because he's gonna be documenting everything, the food he's eating, pretty much not starting from scratch, but starting from a pretty high weight and trying to lean down in a healthy way. So I think that that's a really cool idea, and hopefully it will help him stay on track, but hopefully it can get some of you guys on track as well. So if you are interested in that, I will link that down in the description just so you guys can, give him some support and hopefully learn a little bit along the way. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I genuinely hope that the points that I was trying to make kind of came across the way that I wanted them to. I'm not sitting here trying to judge or make it hit piece on Danny. That's not what this video is about. It's about, understanding what people are going through and understanding that everyone has different struggles when they are trying to lose weight. All right, I digress. I am rambling again. But again, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.